having a home bar is pretty cool. It's a great place to entertain guests and practice your skills. But without the right tools, your cocktail options are limited. Even with the best rum and limes picked fresh from the tree, a decent daiquiri will be hard to make with only a rocks glass and a bar spoon. My daiquiri looks weird. Part of bartending is knowing how to use the tools of the trade and what to serve your cocktail in. So, let's take the time to learn about the items needed to turn your liquor cart from a highball or whiskey neat delivery system into a functioning home bar. The good news? You don't need to spend a fortune to make a great cocktail at home. Most people only need a few tools and glasses to cover their basic cocktail needs. And it's all very easy to find. Sites like barproducts.com, Cocktail Kingdom, or Barfly by Mercer have everything you could need and then some. It can add up, however. Starting with a clear budget and plan for your home bar will help. Sure, all the copper-covered odds and ends will look great, but they're all just fancy paperweights if you don't use them. Stick to the basics when getting started. You might even find that you already have some items in your kitchen that'll work just fine. Cocktail shakers are used to quickly and effectively blend cocktails. And that's really it. The basic design only requires 2 pieces, but this has changed over time to include a few flourishes. Frankly, there's no right or wrong choice, so you're welcome to select the type that feels best to you. I prefer this 2-piece Boston shaker. Typically there's one larger piece accompanied by a smaller tin, and the two fit together to create a seal to prevent liquid from splashing all over you while you're shaking. There's also the cobbler shaker. The convenient thing with this style is that the strainer is built directly into the top, but I find it takes longer to strain, and the tin is a little tricky to take apart when it gets cold. Technically, they all do the same thing. Heck, you can use an empty mason jar and get the same results. But at what cost? As a general rule, cocktails that contain only alcohol should be stirred. And while you can stir in your shaker tin, a mixing glass will let your guests see the magic happening. Several styles vary in aesthetics, practicality, and function. The most popular style is this Yarai mixing glass, named for this Japanese diamond pattern here. It has a curved spout for easier pouring. I also have this unique glass by artist Robin Mix, with a similar curved spout that I like to use in my home bar. However, I recommend sticking to a well-priced option, since these are the most broken items behind the bar. Try not to spend more than $25. You may already have 2 items that are perfect for the job. The most common would be a pint glass, or you can use the glass piece from a French press. No one will know the difference. On the subject of stirred drinks, a bar spoon will be necessary. A few basic styles exist, but I recommend the Japanese bar spoon. Its elegant design and tight spiral really do help, especially if you make 500 stirred cocktails a night. The end of the handle can be finished in several different ways, but I like this teardrop design. You probably also recognize this American bar spoon, with the red cap. This is typically inexpensive and easy to find in any bar supply or hardware store. Whichever you choose, I recommend lots of practice. The technique is far more critical than the actual spoon. You can use a leftover chopstick if you want to. Feel free to eyeball it when mixing for yourself, but if you're trying to be accurate with your recipes, you should always measure your drinks. Jiggers come in all shapes and sizes and styles, so feel free to shop around and find one that suits you. Ultimately, it's more about comfort than speed and efficiency at home. Just make sure you find one that measures between 2 ounces to 1/4 ounce. That little bit can make all the difference. There's the single jigger, which can range from a basic shot glass to something with multiple graduations, like this guy right here. Then there's this hourglass-shaped double jigger. I'm most comfortable with this Japanese style, only because I was trained with it. Ultimately, your kitchen measuring cups and spoons will work just fine. Just make sure you get the conversions right. Separating liquid from solid is the chief job of the cocktail strainer. There are 2 main types of strainers, the Hawthorne and the Julep. The Julep strainer likely evolved from a 19th century slotted spoon that was placed over 19th century drinks to keep 19th century ice from crashing into sensitive 19th century teeth, essentially making it the precursor to the 21st century straw. Now it's mainly used for straining stirred drinks. The Hawthorne strainer has a flat, perforated face and a tight coil that strains ice and other particulates. The coil doubles as a flexible spring, allowing the strainer to fit over different glassware. These strainers are inexpensive, so price shouldn't be a major concern. Find one that is comfortable, durable, and easy to clean. You should have one of each, but if you're gonna just have one, go with the Hawthorne, and you'll be fine. Here's where personal style meets the needs of the cocktail. Serving with ice, topping with bubbles, maintaining temperature and aroma, that's what the glassware is for. I'm not going to tell you what brands you should buy, because you probably have some in your cabinet that already do the job. Just don't discredit thrift stores. They might offer something functional and fun to put on display. Remember, the first thing most people will notice about your cocktail is what it's served in. A little style goes a long way. This is the vessel of choice for carbonated cocktails, flips, and every drink served long, tall, and slender. Your rum and coke, gin and tonic, Tom Collins, Paloma, you get the idea. A Collins glass is often confused with the highball, but the two differ slightly. The Collins glass is taller and holds around 12 ounces, more than enough for a cocktail plus a generous serving of ice. Highballs, on the other hand, are slim and have less volume. Get whatever you want though. Beer and coffee mugs will do the job in a pinch. And I don't know a human being alive who would turn down a whiskey highball in a ceramic Chewbacca tiki mug. If you're serving anything up, your Manhattans, martinis, and daiquiris, you're going to want a stemmed cocktail glass. Some people don't like these glasses because they're afraid to spill everywhere. If that's what you're worried about, then definitely get a couple of these. And take this opportunity at home to practice drinking like an adult. I like having a coupe, because more can be served in it. These can replace champagne flutes and hold bubbly cocktails like the French 75, making it a little more versatile. But there is arguably no other image that better communicates the very notion of a cocktail than the iconic V-shaped martini glass. Classic, majestic, sophisticated. These words describe the discerning martini drinker as they sip from the iconic V-shaped martini glass. No other glass better conveys the elegance of the cocktail drinker.
Until now! Modern elegance requires modern glassware. So get yourself a set of these. A glass bird you drink out of. Prove to your boss you got class at the next office party by drinking a cocktail from a little bird. Sometimes with a straw. Serious drinkers know their cocktails need serious attention. So the next time you reach for a martini, make sure it's served in a glass bird. You drink out of the butt for some reason.
Aptly named, this glass is commonly used for cocktails on the rocks. Though you might also hear it called an old-fashioned glass. It comes in 2 varieties, the single and the double rocks glass. The single rocks glass holds between 6 and 10 ounces and is ideal for anything served neat, unmixed, unchilled, uniced, or down. Think your Sazerac. The double rocks glass, being slightly larger, is best for cocktails served over ice. Be it a single large cube or several smaller cubes, like in your Negroni, Old Fashioned, and Margarita. Let's be honest, you're going to use this glass the most. So, it's worthwhile to splurge on a rocks glass that feels good in your hand. You're pretty much set once you have your tools and glassware ready. Sure, there are plenty of other items you can use to make your home bar yours. You could put a copper pineapple on display or a whiskey decanter, but remember to stick to the basics. A good paring knife, cutting board, and peeler will help your garnish game, while a strong juicer for fresh citrus is always a good investment. If wine is a major part of your home bar, you'll want white and red wine glasses, and to find a sturdy wine key. If there's one thing I can't live without, it's these 2-inch silicone ice molds. They're affordable and abundant. I like having a giant ice cube in my cocktail and iced coffee. At least that's what I recommend. Most of what I've said you can completely ignore. This is your home bar. Remember, the only useless tool is one that doesn't get used. I have more tools here than I know what to do with. I have 2 absinthe fountains, for crying out loud, and I don't use either of them. A home bar is a lot of fun, so have fun setting it up. And let me know if you have anything you're particularly proud of. I would love to hear about it.